Every little town has places that become part of its story. In Maple Valley, one of those places is the Gazebo in South Pine, where families gather and the musicians fill the air with music. Today I'd like to show you how I built this gazebo. To get started, I have cut 4 main wall sections and 4 overlay pieces that will be glued together to create one wall. I usually use Elmer's glue wall, but any white craft glue will work. I find it easiest to spread a thin layer with a toothpick. Today, though, I'm using this Zig 2-way glue stick because I have a few tubes taking up space in my drawer that I'd like to use up. The chisel tip makes it easy to apply a nice thin even layer. I'll start by gluing the 4 layers of each wall section together. Now I'll glue 2 overlay pieces onto each side of the wall. There isn't any railing on this wall section because it's the opening to the gazebo. I glued it together the very same way as before. You'll need at least one open wall like this, but I chose to have 3 sections since this is a gathering place for the mice. You'll notice I actually have 2 different wall designs here. This version is included in the free pattern for those who prefer to cut things by hand. And if you're wanting the SVG, it's in my memberships. Since this gazebo has been here in the park for years, I wanted to rough up the wood a bit so it wouldn't look brand new. The finished wall section ended up being about 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm going to paint the wall sections first because I think it'll be easier now than later. I want them to look like wood, so I'm base coating them with the light color first. Next, I'll use a watered down brown paint, keeping my brush strokes running in the direction the wood grain would naturally run. I'm not trying to paint it perfectly, I just want it to feel old and sun-bleached. Instead of attaching the walls to the base separately, I'm joining them together by gluing a strip of cardstock over each joint. Now I'm painting them to match the walls. And here's how it looks with all the walls joined together and painted. I'll cover these seams later once it's attached to the base. For the base, I cut several layers of the small octagon using cardboard, foam board, or a mix of both. I actually used a little bit of everything. Here I'm using Elmer's glue wall to layer them together. I also glued a strip of paper around the edge to cover the corrugation, giving me a smooth surface for the bricks. While cutting the walls, I ended up with a bunch of these little squares that I think will make great bricks. I like that they weren't all the same size. I cut some in half or into smaller pieces to fill in the gaps. I'll just save these for another project. Here I'm mixing up some paint, glue, and a little sand to add a bit of texture and to help create the grout. I didn't want to lose the brick shape, so I didn't use a lot of sand or paint it on too thickly. I ended up not liking the color, so I had to paint over the gray. Then I used some diluted warm colors to add some color to the bricks. I wanted to make a floor that looks like wood planks, so I'll be using the large octagon and some strips of cardstock. I cut several layers of the octagon because I didn't want the wood plank floor to look too flat. You could get a little fancier and arrange the planks in a pie shape, but I just wanted to keep it simple. I trimmed off any of the planks that hung over so they were flush with the edge of the octagon. Just like I did with the walls, I roughed up the floor so it would look more natural. I wanted the floor to look darker than the walls for contrast, so I'm using a different light base color and a darker wash over the top. These will become the framework for gluing the roof panels onto. Just make sure one of the pieces has a notch in the top and the other a notch in the bottom. I painted these exactly the same way as the walls. They won't really show, so you may not want to bother painting them at all. To make the frame, I start off by using these two pieces. I put a little glue in the center here and then push this top piece down, lining up the notches. Then I add some glue to each of these notches and press it onto the wall. This can be a little bit fiddly, but eventually it gets where it needs to be. Now it's time to add these half pieces of the frame. I put a little glue on the notch and on the other end. For me, it was easier to glue on one and then the one opposite it. These strips are going to cover the wall joints in the front. I know I mentioned doing this after the gazebo was glued to the base, but I think it's easier to add them now before painting. Real quick, I want to glue these top rails into each opening. Now all that's left is to paint those strips and the wall section will be completely finished. Next, I glue the floor onto the brick base, and I'm using plenty of glue and making sure it's centered the best that I can. Then I laid a heavy book on top to keep everything flat while it dried overnight. I cut the main roof section from thin corrugated cardboard, then glued it onto some cardstock since I planned to paint that side. I painted mine, but you may not want to since you can't really see it. Then I started gluing each roof section down. It started off okay, but I had to add some tape to keep everything from shifting. I'll show you an easier way when I do the smaller roof. I built the top section the same way I built the gazebo walls, and now I'm covering the wall joints with little strips of cardstock. Now I just need to paint those little strips. This is how I should have attached the lower roof pieces together. It would have made it so much easier. This has been a longer project than normal, so it's nice to finally start seeing it come together. When I glued the little roof on, I made sure to keep it lined up with the lower roof. I had a hard time deciding what type of shingles to go with, but I finally decided to paint some thin cardboard and cut the strips from that. Maybe it's because I think it blends into their little world better. I cut out the step pieces and I roughed them up and painted them to look like wood. This part can be a little fiddly. Just don't keep touching it like I did before the glue dries. While the band was warming up, I managed to get a quick picture for you. Everyone seemed to be having such a wonderful time. I even think I saw Aunt Clara dancing with Theodore Whiskers. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.